from
Was that the throwing session?
Yeah, did you see that?
I saw a slant to Amari.
Yeah.
I saw a swing pass to Zeke, and that's what we're supposed
Did
to
you
get.
see velocity? Did you see zip? Did you see mustard on those throws?
So in other words, what Skip Bayless and others are telling me, there is no excuse 2 weeks from tonight. There is no excuse because Dak Prescott is throwing the football and he had pop.
There's actually no excuse. It's 3.5 weeks to the Chargers game. That's when our season starts.
No.
Season starts at Chargers.
No. Y'all opened it Sunday night. They want the Cowboys at prime time. The question is, Skip, okay, threw 12 passes yesterday. As he increases, is there going to be any soreness, any residual effect? Because he hadn't really thrown any significant amount of time in the last month. Skip, I heard Mike Trout talking the other day about he's been out with a calf injury since May. And he says anytime he does baseball activities, he's so sore the following day. The question is, Dak throwing the ball 12 times. That's not a whole lot of throws, Skip. Is there any soreness? Is there any residual from him throwing the previous day? Now, they're going to need to ramp this up because if you think you're going to go into a season, Skip, and your quarterback's only throwing 12 passes or throws 12 passes a day, you're sadly mistaken. So as they increase this, go from 12 to 20, maybe 25 to 30, or is there going to be any setback? Does Dak like, man, I'm really sore the next day, and then that prevents him from throwing? But this is a positive sign, Skip, because what was supposed to be 2 to 3 days all of a sudden turned into a month. Now, Dak is all of a sudden starting to throw. Contrary to what Jerry and the Cowboys and others have you to believe, this is not normal. Because I can assure you, no other player that says, you know what, our wide receiver, his hamstring is good, so we're just resting him. No, there's a reason why you're resting him, because no one's really playing in the preseason, especially their starters. You get a few starters sprinkling here and there, Skip, but everybody's playing. So, okay, that's a good sign. You got through 12 passes. Hopefully there's no setbacks, but I don't want to hear any excuse come September 9th, because when we come in here on September the 10th, I want you to have that same energy that we started the show with. You know how you would do it then, your paper? I want that energy.
Okay, you're going to get it.
No.
What's the date? I'm sorry, it's September 19th. You got to put a 1 in front of it.
No.
That's at Chargers. That's when our season actually starts.
The season starts next 2 weeks.
Okay, it is my turn. I do not completely disagree with anything you just said, because it all does make some sense, and it is all grounded in very conservative, logical assessments on your side from the Hall of Famer who is Shannon Sharpe sitting across the table from me. But I am a lifelong Dallas Cowboy fan. I admit it. I disqualify myself on those grounds if you so desire. But after I saw this video, after I read all the reports of how Dak threw the football, it's the first positive sign I've had the entire training camp.
Okay,
he actually threw some with, I'm going to quote my man Ezekiel Elliott, with some pop. He had some pop on the ball, said Ezekiel Elliott, his best friend. Okay, so if you want to disqualify, you can. Okay, but he said he looked really good, man, said my man Zeke.
Okay.
I have nothing else to hang my hat on. I got to go with that. I got to go glass half full.
Right.
I got to say, well, okay, at least I got that. Right. I got to quote the greatest writer in the history of this planet, William Shakespeare, who said, all's well that ends well. Right. And it's ending well. It's not ideal. Mike McCarthy made the mistake the other day of actually divulging what his game plan was coming into the preseason. He said, I had Dak scheduled 10 to 15 plays in the first preseason game, for a quarter in the second one, and maybe a half in the third one, because he hasn't played football since the 5th game of last year, when he suffered a career-threatening ankle injury that required 2 surgeries. And the only silver lining here is that I've actually forgotten about the ankle injury, because everybody has. And if I can go deep for just a moment, I know in my many injuries I've suffered from running and weightlifting, sometimes I have one that's just nagging me. I had one not a couple of months ago. My left knee was just killing me when I ran. It was just, I don't know, just like chronic tendonitis in the kneecap. And it was driving me crazy until I hurt my left thumb swinging the golf club too hard in the rough, where it caught in the rough, and it's just killing me. And all of a sudden I woke up one day and said, I forgot all about my knee. Well, is it possible Dak has forgotten all about his ankle?
It's possible.
Because that's what we were all the most concerned of. Did I want to see him under fire? Did I want to see him get his football, his sea legs underneath him?
Yes.
With some live combat going on? Yes, I did.
Right.
But I didn't get that. And what I love for him, they play Sunday night. What time? It's actually Sunday at noon. Dallas time, they play Jacksonville, and Jacksonville's probably going to play a lot of their guys. So anyway, I was thinking, okay, that could be 1 month. Is there any way? It was reported by Todd Archer of ESPN that Dak and Mike McCarthy had a long talk as they walked off the practice field. Is it possible Dak would play a couple series on Sunday at noon in Dallas? Maybe. Would I take that?
Because, Skip, it's different now. Remember, they got 2 weeks in between the last preseason game and the first regular season game. So
this is the equivalent, starting right here, right now, of a bye week, which would be gold in the middle of the later in the season, obviously. So you got a bye week. You actually have 2 full weeks. It's tonight. It's a Thursday night solo stage opener at the defending champs.
Right.
Okay, so what have I told you from the start? I have given up the opener. They're going to get annihilated. I already told you they are. It is so wrong place, wrong time. You can ridicule me all you want, but I have given it up, and I'm not trying to make preemptive excuses for them. You're not going to win that game. Fox Bet right now has them as 7.5-point dogs. I want some of that on Tampa Bay. I do, because it's not going to be close to being 7.5.
I know what you're doing, Skip Bayless.
I'm not doing anything. Okay, wait, before you go. I am going to dig in. I got the schedule right here, and I went over it one more time. I got them at 12-5.
No
12-5, winning the least, running away with the least.
12-5.
Okay, I got it right here. So you can take all the shots you want at what I just said about opening night, but there's no way with a Dak Prescott who hasn't played a single snap since the Giants game, the fifth game of the year. It's almost 11 months ago. There's no way they're going to go win this game with them. They'll probably have 8 new starters on defense. I don't know what's going to happen because they don't know what's going to happen.
Whoa. You just told me yesterday, you told all our listening audience that you love what Mike McCarthy said. He had never seen a team flip the defense in such a short amount of time. And now you're talking about 8 new starters?
Do you remember what I've said about Thomas Edward Patrick Brady Jr.? He is the runaway GOAT, and we're going to talk about this later. I am predicting he's going to have his greatest season yet at age 44 and that he will win the MVP this year. So you want to talk about getting thrown into the fire, getting thrown to the wolves in Tampa?
I know what you're hoping on the low. You're hoping the Cowboys win so you can come out here and say, that settles it. They're going to the Super Bowl.
No, I'll come out here and I'll say I was wrong about last night. If that's what happens,
be
there's no way they're going to win this game.
You're going to be right.
It's like when they threw Brady into the Breeze fire last year, right?
Opening night.
Yeah, it was opening day.
Sunday,
yeah.
Right.
Well, it was unfair. He hadn't had any preseason games with a brand new offense that he could barely remember the nomenclature of.
After seeing Dak throw for 11, 12 plays, how many throws that Zeke said he had pop, would you like to see him get a series?
Yes.
Because this would be the equivalent of the third game because it's 2 weeks from the first opening day.
It would be beautiful to me. It wouldn't scare me at all. I'd like to see him get. You'd have to play it by ear, but maybe 2 or 3 series.
You'd have to play your
starting offensive line, which would be probably scarier than playing Dak.
Right.
But I would love to see it because we keep talking about this. The oldest cliche in football is you can't get better at football without playing football.
Correct.
You know that more than anybody.
Absolutely.
So the point is that they've all tried. This is a new world this year. This is the first time I've ever seen this. Everybody is using the joint scrimmage with another opponent as your preseason games because you can control the injuries a little better because you don't actually tackle hard. You don't run through guys, and the quarterback is completely off limits.
Right.
So now that's where they're sort of figuring things out, is in those.
And because, Skip, no one is really playing their starters. Because you look at Sharpe
in the preseason, they're not.
Yeah,
no.
so that's the way, and like you said, that's the way to control it. Stay away from the quarterback. Everybody stays up on special teams. There's no tackling or anything like that.
So as you recall, the Cowboys had maybe 3 days against the Rams while they were still out in Southern California, where the Rams were in Thousand Oaks, obviously, and in Oxnard for the Cowboys. And Dak missed the whole thing.
Right.
Dak missed everything because it started on July 28th as we got to witness firsthand on Hard Knocks, thanks to the Hard Knocks, the NFL Films video.
Correct.
We got to see the footage of Dak suddenly saying, I don't know what happened.
Right.
It is the single most mysterious injury I have ever encountered that a quarterback suffered because it's some weird muscle pull, strain, tear. I don't know what it is. I've never heard of this before, but I got to deal with it. So I'm trying to see it as silver lining of, well, at least his ankle seems to be great. You know, I don't hear a thing about the ankle.
Well, you said the ankle. Dak said going into training camp that he has no limitations. He felt no hesitation about the ankles, and then this flares up. The question is he going to be able to let loose of the football when it becomes meaningful, which is September 9th against Tampa Bay? Can he let loose the football without having the back of my mind, how long is this thing? Is it going to hold up? Am I going to be good this game? Am I going to be good for the next game? How long? Because, Skip, this is the first time that we've seen him throw. I mean, and that's only 12 throws, Skip. It's not like he went out there and threw the ball 50 times like somebody in a pro day. He threw the ball 12 times.
Okay, I hear everything you're saying. I can't answer that question because when it comes to injuries, neither of us can say what's going on in a man's mind and in his body.
Correct.
I just like the fact that he was throwing with a little bit of zip on the ball that I did not see pregame the other night before the Houston game. I saw a little bit of zip. I saw flashes, glimpses of the old Dak. And heck, I'm at the first of this video that we're showing, I just love seeing him running out onto the field.
Right.
He looked good. His body looks good. He looks incredibly trim and fit. And all I heard yesterday from the Cowboys were all those classic words. Zeke said he's a grinder. McCarthy said he's a competitor. I say he's a baller. So everything seems on course except for this mysterious thing that we've never heard of. It's a quote-unquote baseball injury to the point they had to go try to get some information from the trainers of the Rangers and the Yankees, said our man Jay Glazer. I've never heard of this before.
But Skip, it was also good to see him in a team setting because remember, most of the time he was throwing soft toss by himself. He was doing some 7-on-7 stuff. But now he's in a team setting because he's going to have to get used to people being around his feet. Skip, in a game, people are like scratching and clawing, trying to get at you. So we'll find out just how healthy that ankle is, how confident and secure he feels in that ankle, all the while knowing that he's going to throw the ball at least 25 to 30 times.
Okay. This is a huge year for Dakota Rain Prescott.
Absolutely.
And I would like to start to respell his middle name Reign, as in Cowboys reign over the world. But the point is, he just got $75 million to play football just this year. The next on the list of paid quarterbacks is Tom Brady at 27.5. So he's at 75, and the pressure mounts. We disagree. I think the most pressure is on Ezekiel Elliott. I need Zeke to have a bounce back for Dak's sake. And yet I saw this last preseason game, they actually played Ty Smith and they played Zach Martin and they played Lyle Collins. And I haven't seen them in action for so long, but they actually trotted them out there and let them play a couple of series.
But this is why I disagree with you because, Skip, they say we've seen over the last couple of years Zeke in decline. Everybody talked about how Dak could possibly throw for 6,000 yards. Yeah. He was on pace. Remember, he had the greatest 5 games passing in NFL history. He's at over 400 yards passing a game. No one has been over 390 in the first 5 games. So now you factor that in with the contract, with the contentious relationship that he had. He's like, I'm not playing. This is what I'm worth. Yep. There's an immense amount of pressure on a guy that got that kind of money because now, we're going to talk about it a little later. There's an immense amount of pressure. When you get that kind of money, people equate money to success. Well, you got paid. Okay, now show me.
Okay. So, are you putting him on the hot seat? Because you're going to hold his feet to that fire, and it's going to burn hot at Tampa.
Because the Cowboys, Jerry keeps saying, all y'all keep talking about this is the Cowboys' year. And Pro Football Focus every year, this is one of the 5 most talented teams. They've been saying that for 25 years. And for 25 years, everybody is let down. There's not been one year where people said, you know what? The Cowboys overachieved. The Cowboys were not supposed to have a 10-6 record. They were not supposed to be 11-5. Every year for 25 years, everybody said at the end of the year, this has been a disappointment. Name one time in the last 25 years, Skip, where you said, you know what? I'm proud of my team because they overachieved. They were not supposed to be what they were. You're disappointed every year.
2014, 2016, 2018, I was proud of them all 3 years.
Skip, you was the number one seed in the NFC, and you called the L the divisional.
2016?
Yes!
Because we got off to a really slow start with 2 rookies in the starting lineup at quarterback and running back, and a defense that was probably overrated and not ready for Aaron Rodgers. And they fell behind 21-3, and then what happened? Rain happened.
Nothing happened.
REIGN happened.
Hold on, I'm trying to figure
and
out.
all of a sudden, I look up, and it's 31-all thanks to Dakota Rain Prescott.
Well, why was it 21-3?
Why
Because
was
of
it?
Dakota Rain Prescott.
Well, Aaron Rodgers got hot, and then he cooled off, and then he got lucky because he got 2 of the weirdest, strangest, most unpredictable long-distance intergalactic field goals I have ever witnessed, 51 yards and 56 yards from Mason Crossbar. I don't know how he did it.
I love how you do that. You talk about, we had the best record, but it was with 2 rookies. They were rookies in the regular season, and you didn't mention that. Now, all of a sudden, they catch the L because they, like I said, they would. Now, all of a sudden, you want to put it on the age. Don't do that, Skip. All I'm saying is this. There's more expectations. There's greater pressure on Dak Prescott because why? You told me since I've been on the show with you, the most important position in sports is what position, Skip? And then when you magnify that he plays in Dallas, Texas.
Yeah.
You and I was having a conversation off air about Roger Staubach and Troy Aikman. Well, that's the gold standard. I don't know what can I equate it to, Skip. Maybe
You're talking about who is the greatest quarterback,
or
who's the most popular quarterback.
Right.
And I said,
Gotta be
by a
Rodgers.
little bit, it's Rodgers.
Right.
I mean, he was godlike.
Are we talking about a center fielder for the Yankees?
Yeah.
I mean, what can we compare it to, Skip, as that another position in another sport? I don't know what you can compare it to, the starting quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys, and you win a Super Bowl.
It used to be center field for the Yankees,
Right.
but now I think it sits alone on its own pedestal. I don't think there's anything like it.
Oh, okay.
And yet the Hall of Famer across from me discounted all those yards Dak threw for in the first 4
Yeah,
games
they were
last
empty
year.
calories.
A lot of empty calories.
Yeah.
They fell behind at Seattle 30-15. Well, again, let's go back to Atlanta first. They won the game,
Right.
but they were down 39-20.
Yeah, they was down by 19 at one
halftime,
point.
I believe it was. And then they go to Seattle, they're down 30-15. And then Cleveland at home, they're down 40-14 going to the fourth quarter.
Right.
And he's just lighting up fourth quarters, mostly in losing efforts.
Correct.
That it's just the hole was dug too deep. Okay, so I'll give you that. I will give you that in his last 17 starts, he's 6-11, which is horrifying to me and should be horrifying to Jerry Jones, who just paid him $75 million for this year.
Which you said was too much about Dak. I like Dak. Dak's a good guy, but I don't believe he deserves to be paid the upper tier money. Well, he got the upper tier money.
got it.
When you get the upper tier money, guess what comes along with that? Upper tier responsibilities.
Okay? But I do believe what McCarthy is selling right now, and his credibility is taking a lot of hits on Hard Knocks, but I'm buying into this whole idea of I've never seen one side of the ball get flipped in the offseason, get turned around in the offseason like the Cowboy defense just did. I am loving what I'm seeing. There's a lot of youth, and there's going to be a lot of youthful gambling mistakes made, but they're going to be way better on defense than they were last year.
And guess what we get the chance to see on September 9th? Just how much that defense is flipped. What better way to see how well your defense has grown since that infusion of youth and a new voice in Dan Quinn calling than going against the reigning Super Bowl champion, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers?
They will get surgically humiliated.
No.
Yes, they
You
will.
can't do that.
Yes, you can.
That meant
The GOAT. And the GOAT has got a receiving core second to none in the league.
You just spent this 5 minutes telling me about how they flip and how you like what you see.
Okay, but you can't start there against
Why
them.
not?
Well, come on. And what about their defense? What about Tampa's defense? Can you make a case it's the best in football right now? I can.
Hold on. You just told me one guy makes $75 million, the other guy makes $27 million. So the guy that makes $75 million should be able to carve up the team.
I've also made the case I will not be shocked if Tampa Bay wins every game this year.
They're not winning every game. Stop that.
17-0.
They ain't going no 17 and nothing.
Well, I'm not going to be shocked over that. So now I go back to the Cowboys schedule and I say, right off game one, it's over. It's going to be like, I'll just go off the top of my head. It's going to be like
0-2.
35.
You're starting the season 0-2.
35-10. I'll say that's the score. 35-10 at Tampa Bay. Then it's Justin Herbert out here at SoFi, side of the Super Bowl. You never know. Maybe it'll be a pre-trip to the Super Bowl for the Dallas Cowboys. Okay, at Chargers will be the game of the year for my Cowboys. It will be a make or break, sink or swim game because you don't want to go down 0-2 because the numbers will scream at you.
Drowning.
Right?
0-2 for you.
The numbers will scream at you that you cannot make the playoffs off 0-2.
Thank you.
Although there is an extra game this year, which will help just a little bit and skew that number.
Extra loss for you.
Okay, so I believe they will win at Chargers.
No.
And then they go home and they get Eagles, Panthers, and Giants, and they will win those 3. So that would be 4 in a row. At New England, I'm like, I don't know. It's a coin flip.
There ain't no coin flip.
We
Y'all
need to
catching
see
the L.
who's the starter. And by the way, wouldn't that come 1 week after the game at Foxborough, after the Tom Brady returns?
Oh, they're
game?
going to be riding high.
Oh, they might be riding low.
They beat them beat Tampa, so they're going to be feeling good about themselves.
Okay. Then come at Minnesota. We won there last year. I don't know why we can't win there this year. Your Broncos, thank you very much. That's a big dub. And then we got the Falcons at home. Yeah, we got that one, no problem. At Chiefs, I'll give you a loss there. Raiders at home, I got it.
Who's your guy?
At New Orleans, I'll give you an L at New Orleans, although I think we'll have a shot there. At Washington, I'll give you the L, but that's going to be the only division game we lose. The only one, because at New York, I believe we win that.
Y'all lose.
Then we come home and we will beat Washington at home. We will beat Arizona and get revenge over them from last year at home. And then we finish at Eagles. That's a big W. That's 12. I just gave you 12 and 5. I also just shot right through what is right now the second easiest schedule in the National Football League based on last year's one-loss records.
And guess what, Skip?
Second easiest.
Guess what? People are looking at their schedule, and they see the Dallas Cowboys, and just like you say, that's a win. That's what everybody's doing on their schedule.
Okay, good.
Anytime they see the Cowboys,
Good for
yep,
you.
that's a win.
Yep. Well, I got Dak back. That's all I care
You
about.
just got Dak back yesterday. He's been out for 5 weeks.
Well, we got a bye week this
I'm
week
going
to
to
get
allow
ready.
you to keep
right?
that excitement, Skip.
Okay.
You're happy
y'all
about it?
want that excitement too,
I think I hear some fear in your
We don't
voice.
want to get in the way right now.
My voice.
Thank you for watching. You can subscribe here to get the latest from the show, and be sure to check out more of the best clips from Undisputed, or go watch a few other segments from our other shows on FS1.